No. Well, first of all, what's your name? First of all.
I had McDonald's.
Okay. I had Hooters, so I mean I'm worse.
Oh yeah, I like the Hooters. I like
Oh,
the
Lord.
chicken.
So I'm Charles. What's your name?
Melvina. Nice to meet you.
Melvina. Okay. So I saw you taking the number. So you had an interest in transportation industry or dispatching, freight brokering?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why is I used to be a former school bus driver, but
Okay.
I was in an automobile accident.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, someone hit me. That's why I got this brace on.
Okay.
And I actually developed PTSD and anxiety. So
Okay.
as my love is still there,
Right.
but driving, even though you're driving in, as professionals, we're trained to look for danger. Mine is heightened,
Okay.
and I just don't want to be responsible when people are careless.
Correct.
Because they think that commercial vehicles can stop at the drop of a dime.
And they cannot.
Right.
That's
So I have family members that had did trucking for many, many years, and they had talked about freight brokerage.
Freight brokering. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I was like, maybe that might be a idea, because right now I work in the school as a TA, and sometimes it's not always good. So I thought maybe I could still go back. I don't have to drive because I don't want to drive anymore. Not at the moment. I'm
Gotcha.
trying to still get more comfortable to
Okay.
being on the road and driving again. But
Understood.
I could still do something in that field because that's what I was good at. Like,
Correct.
I was outstanding driver. I'm not to
Right.
puff myself up,
No.
but
Toot your horn.
yeah, but
You only live once.
I drove very well, and I even went back to our training center just to see where I was, because I did not feel comfortable driving anymore.
So now, dispatching and or freight brokering. You mentioned freight brokering.
Mm-hmm.
You say you have family that drove trucks. Or do they
Yeah.
still drive trucks?
I believe one of them does, because both of them at one time were owner and operators, like they had their own vehicles.
That was my next
the
question.
other one, the older one was an owner and operator. Then the young one eventually became an owner and operator, and he actually was leaning more towards the freight brokerage thing. Like his partner, she did all the training for that.
Okay.
So they have extensive knowledge. So that was one of the things it was recommended that I could possibly do, since driving was something that I don't feel comfortable doing anymore.
Well, you can do both. You can dispatch from home, or you can be a freight broker from home. It just depends
you
on
can?
which. Yeah, of course. So there's a difference between. I'm not sure if you know the difference between a dispatcher or a freight dispatcher, independent freight dispatcher, and
No, I
a
don't
freight
know.
broker. So a freight dispatcher is someone who finds the loads, the freight, to
Okay.
put into the trailers, the trucks of the truck drivers,
Okay.
the owner operators, for
Right.
example, like your family. And you can do that from home. Computer, phone, laptop, desktop,
nice.
internet service. You talk to the freight brokers, and you negotiate good rates for those owner operators, and you keep them loaded, and
Because
you
the
make
freight broker
money.
is the middleman, right?
The freight broker is the middleman, so the dispatcher and the freight broker are middlemen.
Okay.
The difference is the freight broker is a middleman between the shipper, the customers who they're getting the freight from,
Okay.
and the motor carriers who they are brokering the freight to.
Oh, nice.
Okay?
Okay.
The dispatcher is a middleman between the motor carrier, the truck driver,
Right.
and the freight broker.
Okay.
So they're finding the loads, they're getting the loads from the broker, and they're giving them to the carriers, and you're charging a percentage or whatever you charge for your service.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
so-
How do you offer the training? Like, what is the process?
Everything we have live Zoom trainings, and we have an online portal that's self-paced. So
In-person training.
I'm getting to the point. I am getting to the point where I'm going to start doing local in-person trainings.
Okay.
But right now it's more. I've been doing it for 3 years. More online,
nice.
self-paced. People go to my portal, and I do live Zoom trainings, and they're recorded, so you can go back and watch all the lessons over time to learn everything. And I have Zoom trainings every second and fourth week, 3 times in those weeks.
Okay.
So I give you access to load boards. I give you access to everything that you need as a dispatcher from the beginning, and as a freight broker from the beginning. I provide the training for.
Okay.
It's for those people who know very little, if anything, about being a dispatcher or a freight broker. I give you the basic foundational. I literally hold your hand.
Of dispatch, as far as from the driving school buses and stuff, I understand some of that process, but
Right.
as far as with the
It's-
tractor trailers,
right, it's very
and freight
different.
and stuff,
Right.
I have no knowledge.
Correct. The transportation industry is very different from because
Yeah.
the school system, you know, you're dispatching the kids and you're dispatching the routes to take
Right,
those children
yeah.
to and from the schools, right, and to different neighborhoods depending on what route you have.
Yes,
right.
correct.
But in the transportation industry, you're dispatching tractor trailers over the road or maybe even regional. So it depends on where the carriers want to go, how much they want to make per mile, how much weight they want to carry on their trailer, and we go over all of that from a very beginning standpoint. Everything that you don't understand, all the terms, I break them down to a very basic level so everybody can understand it.
And then at the end, we will be able to test to get certified. How does that work?
So I'm going to start giving certificates to students who finish the program, but my certificate is when you form your dispatching company or your freight brokerage and you're making money. That's your certificate right there, as opposed to that piece of paper with just ink on it, which, you know, for some, you know, so. But
you'll teach us how to probably become independent.
Of course, from setting up the business, coming up with a business name, getting your business license, your LLC, your EIN, that, and then setting up your infrastructure for your company, what the paperwork you need, what do you need to send to the carrier, what do you need to receive from the broker in order to book a load. We go through the whole process. We have live calls to brokers to carriers. We go through the process, the whole workflow. I do everything.
You're making me nervous. Okay.
I am. Well, I'm making you nervous. Let me step back there.
No, not that. You make me nervous as far as because my anxiety sometimes something.
Oh, okay, that's right. You said you had PTSD. Yeah, your anxiety.
Yeah, so
anytime you feel uncomfortable, let me know.
Not with you, just like the process in talking to people and stuff. Like I have to get back into establishing those things. I do it, but like, see, I stopped talking to you. If I was in one of my heightened anxious days, I would have just been like, I'm sorry, but I would have kept going. I wouldn't even entertained you.
Right.
So
well, I'm glad I'm entertainable.
So after the training, will we still be able to like communicate with you if we have like questions?
Certainly, because you're going to be a part. I'm going to actually include you in my private Dispatcher 101 members only Facebook group.
Okay.
You network with other dispatchers or freight brokers depending on which one you want to become. You network with those individuals who are like-minded like you, trying to learn and trying to grow. So you come up together. It's like no child left behind, no dispatcher left behind, no freight broker left behind. I don't just take people's money, right? I hold your hand, literally.
Okay.
You know, my phone is buzzing right now. I get calls all the time. I give out. This is my personal cell number.
Oh.
This phone right here.
So let me ask you a question. Which one do you think? I know you probably would say both, but which one?
No.
Which one do you think would be best for someone as a beginner, or someone even with my experience? I guess with my trauma and stuff like that. What do you think would probably be a better fit for me? Right,
and you just sharing with you what you shared with me. Even after you sharing what you shared with me, I would still say come in as a dispatcher and then transition into a freight broker.
Okay.
Because it's the easiest entry point.
Okay.
As a dispatcher, because you're learning, you're going to learn carrier side, you're going to learn the truck driving side, understand that, and you're going to understand the broker side. Because you're going to be dealing with brokers when you're trying to find loads for your carrier. So you're going to talk to both sides. So when you do decide to transition into a freight broker, you already have that knowledge. So it's going to be an easier transition. You see, but and from a financial standpoint, it's easier to come in as a dispatcher than it is a freight broker. Because with a broker, you're required to pay for a bond and all these other small requirements. They're small, but there's still costs involved in starting a freight brokerage. You need an authority, a broker license. You don't need that with a dispatcher. All you need is a business license.
So you could be your own dispatcher?
Of course.
Like, how would you find
I get over 3,000 students who are their own dispatchers.
But how? And 2 out of your 3,000 are their own dispatchers? I'm saying, how do you become your own dispatcher though?
You set up your dispatch, you set up your business, you start a business. Like, let's say you call yourself ABC Dispatching Services.
Okay.
Right. What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Melvina.
Melvina. Yep, Melvina Dispatching Services, or whatever you want to call yourself, right? Melvina's Logistics.
Okay.
Right, and then as long as that name is not taken, whatever city or state that you're in, whatever their requirements is of starting a business, you follow those steps because you want to, be compliant when it comes to taxes and all that stuff, right? IRS and all that crap. So, but after that, you start it, and then you go from there.
Oh, nice.
You get your business license. Your structure is either going to be a sole proprietor, LLC, S corp, whatever you want to structure it as. And then after that, you get some formal training. You may not get training with us, but hopefully you do. But if you don't, just get some formal training on whatever industry you get into. You want to get some formal training in that industry, right? Okay. So I offer it from a basic standpoint.
The training that you offer, even though it's basic, it will allow you to do both with just the freight aspect or other aspects of trucking, or
so,
just
give me an example of what you're saying. Other aspects of trucking. Or I can give you some aspects of. So in logistics or in the transportation industry, you have trucking companies, you have freight brokers, you have freight forwarders, you have dispatchers, you have intermodal freight where they go to the ports and to the railroads, the rail cars and everything into the ports to pick up containers. I think I mentioned freight forwarders where shipments come in internationally. Okay. Air freight, like airports, air freight, stuff like that. So there's different aspects of logistics. Maybe you can get into warehousing and distribution.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's what I mean, something like
correct.
That.
So it can be a springboard into those other areas, of course. But again, this is the easiest entry point as an independent freight dispatcher because you're controlling your own destiny. No one's telling you what to do. Okay. You're your own boss. You're your own company. So if you don't work, if you don't kill your own food, you don't eat. Right? You don't work, you don't eat. You don't work, you don't eat. Right? As opposed to, I'm trying to get everybody off the plantation, a 9 to 5, get you off the plantation and get your own land, so to speak.
I just, my goal is to be able to support myself, and I have a daughter. She's an adult daughter though.
Okay.
But I have myself and my daughter to support us, just to live simple, and possibly I eventually want to be out in the ministry. Like, that's what I do. I'm one of Jones Witnesses. So that's my goal, is to be able to be out more. And I like being home, so I would rather do something at home. I just have to become more comfortable with.
So what better way?
With technology, and then, doing things from that standpoint. But I'm willing to learn because that's more my comfort zone than actually having to come out and work. So I'm just trying to transition into something that I know that is already in my heart.
Right.
So I like working with children. I enjoy that, but I like driving too.
Right. So what better way to get to those goals you just mentioned by coming into an industry that's not going anywhere? The transportation industry is not going anywhere. Right. It's recession proof. It's pandemic proof. Right? Because even if things shut down, all these stores still open. All the goods still have to get to the stores. So they're coming some way, shape, form, or fashion. They're coming in a truck, through a plane, on a ship, on a rail car. So things are still moving. If transportation industry or logistics shut down, then the country will shut down economically, right?
Yeah,
because
we saw that with Canada.
Exactly, when those truck drivers protested, right?
Yeah,
so what better way to get involved in an industry to lead to financial freedom, or living a simple life, like you said, when you're your daughter, where you can control your own destiny, make the money that you want to make. You can set your own income.
Oh, okay.
What you want to make. You can say, I can have 3 to 5 truck drivers that I'm dispatching for the week. Let's say you make, on average, dispatchers are going to make for truck drivers about $6,000 to $8,000 or $8,000 to $10,000 a week gross to the truck driver. Now, if you charge 10% for your dispatching services, then that's $800 to $1,000 a week to you. Okay, so keep that in mind. 800. Let's say the low end, 800. Let's say you're dispatching. You can handle about 5 trucks, dispatching for a week on a regular basis, keeping them running and everything like that successfully. So 800 times 5, that's $4,000 a week. Think you can live off $4,000 a week?
Yeah, I can live off.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
I don't need that much. Yeah,
that's the point.
Another question I wanted to ask you: what type of system do you need to do that? Do you have to have like more of an advanced system?
No, you can have a simple desktop, laptop, internet. As long as you got a laptop, a desktop, internet service, and a phone.
Oh, so you need laptop, desktop,
laptop or a desktop, depending on whichever one you're comfortable with. If you want to be more mobile, then I would suggest a laptop.
Okay.
I would have both if you have the budget for it. So if you're at home on the desktop and let's say you go out and you happen to see a truck driver and you start that conversation, wouldn't it be nice to have your laptop in front of you so you can get some data from them to get them set up?
So what's the startup amount to start? Your own.
It depends on the cost of the equipment that you're trying to get, the cost of the desktop or the laptop. But I say $1,000 is a good startup cost.
So when do you get next? classes start?
When do my next classes start? Well,
Yeah.
this is a training week for me. So I have Zoom trainings on the dispatching and freight broker side. On the dispatching side is every second and fourth week of each month. This is the second week of
Every
November.
day?
No, it's 3 times in those weeks. So Sundays I just had one yesterday because today's Monday.
Yeah.
I had one Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern, and all of them are recorded. So even if you miss a live training, you can go back and watch the recording.
Okay.
If you become an ongoing member, you have access to my portal, which we have our recorded video library in there, so you can go back and catch what you missed live.
Can we ask you questions though?
Of course.
We can ask you questions. Not on the if it's
Yes. You could, just like you're not even joined yet and you're asking me questions. Am I not answering the questions?
Yeah, but I'm saying like if I join and I might have a question, do I just email? I mean,
You
do
can
I just-
email, text, call. You got the look.
Okay.
This number right here, right there. You call right now if you want. I guarantee you it rings. So
Oh, I got 4 minutes to get to my appointment. Okay, my last question. What's the cost of your classes? Do you want to put it on that or?
yeah, you can. Yeah. So our regular dispatching ongoing training is $499 to join for the first 30 days, and then if
Okay.
you want to, and you get access to everything.
It takes 30 days to do the training?
It does not. So if you want to continue to have access to everything, there is a $29.99 monthly subscription to continue on and on and on. But from November 1st to the end of this year, we are having a half off sale, 50% off.
Oh.
So half of that, so half of $499 is $250, $249 or whatever. So we're having a half off sale special literally right now. So, but it was a pleasure.
You too.
Got the McDonald's hands, I got the Hooters
You
hands.
shake me with this hand? Yeah.
Pleasure,
It was a
Malvina.
pleasure meeting you as well.
And I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any other, even if you don't join, if you have any other questions, if you're on the fence, whatever, if you want some more clarity.
No,
Not a
I
problem.
really am interested. Oh, it's on Sundays and what other days?
So Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.,
Wait a minute, Sunday and Wednesday. Oh, Lisa's not on my other meet at night.
and then Saturdays at 12 noon. So if you go to the website, it'll have
Saturday.
it on the schedule on the website. But,
Okay.
but you can write it down.
How
Sunday.
many?
Yeah, I'll do it for you.
How many days? How many weeks?
For as long as you want to be in it.
Oh.
Yeah, as long as you want to be in it.
But how do you know when we'll finish?
Here's how you gauge when you know you're finished. If you got your first carrier, your first truck driver, and you're booking loads for them and you're making money, that's a good sign that you pretty much
Oh,
got.
so we can start. We can once we feel comfortable and we have enough knowledge, we can start trying to network.
Correct. I got students who are in the trainings and got truck drivers moving loads
Oh.
and still going through the trainings because they still have extra questions that they have. So they're leveraging having access to my portal to get that extra information. Because I give out templates, I give you access to live load boards where you can go in there and book loads.
Oh,
for
that's
your
what I was
carrier.
about to ask you.
Yeah.
Like, how can you help us
Of-
at least try to network to meet other people?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely going to
I would not be a good instructor if I don't give you all the tools that you need to be successful.
Well,
correct?
You talk a good game.
It ain't a game. This ain't a game. This is life.
I mean, you talk well, so I don't know. But
Well, I guess only time will tell.
You're very knowledgeable. And because I'm going to really strongly consider it because
You're already in the
have-
industry.
and not just being in the industry, the fact that I was already told about this before. So it's not like it's just something I just seen. I'm like, oh, let me try it.
Well, since
I
you're a
already
spiritual
have-
person, you know what that is, right? That's confirmation. That's what that's called, right?
No, not until I pray on it.
Okay, there you go.
But because I know like several people that have
To make you feel better, those people that you're comfortable with and gave you the advice to come into this industry, if you want, you can do a three-way with you, myself, and them, so that they can ask me questions and kind of reassure you. That way they can, you see what I'm saying? Kind of help you feel more comfortable. You see what I'm saying? Who does that? You see what I'm saying?
Not many.
I want you to.
I still trust
Yeah.
that it's something nice.
But I want you to feel comfortable. I want my students, potential students, or students to be comfortable in the decisions that they make because this is hard-earned money,
Yeah.
right? I don't want you to waste your money.
And it's your reputation.
There you go. So
I'm going to try to contact you before your half sale go off.
you got till December 31st.